Sports fans, this is SportsBiz with LD.
I'm Larry Davis, the host of SportsBiz with LD. How's everybody doing out there? Andy, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great, Larry. Thank you. And we were supposed to have Sal Farrow on today from Allure. He wasn't feeling well, so from all of us at SportsBiz with LD, Sal, feel better.
Oh, I'm sure Sal will feel better. He probably had a little sniffle or something like that, but he'll be back. He's a trooper. So everybody knows you can always check us out on Facebook, SportsBiz with LD. You can go on the website, SportsBiz with LD. You can tweet me back, SportsBiz with LD. That's really how we roll. It's all about SportsBiz with LD. This weekend here at Hofstra, the Long Island National Sports Collectibles Show, with 15, 20 different players will be here. One of them we have right here on the phone, Ron Bloomberg. Welcome to the show. How you doing, Ron?
Hey, it's great to be able to talk to y'all. Looking forward to coming up from Atlanta to Hofstra. And I heard you got some nice weather because I'm sure bringing some beautiful weather from Atlanta. It's 85 degrees up here, and I heard it's going to be 70 up there, and I'm looking forward to hopefully see a lot of Yankee fans up there.
Well, I think you definitely will. It's 65 here right now. You're right. It could be 70 tomorrow. But I'll tell you something. Whenever you ask the weather people to come, it's amazing. That's a great job, Ron. I mean, the weather people really aren't that right that often.
Oh, they don't have to be right, to be honest with you. I mean, hey, it's a 50-50 chance. 50% of the time they're going to get it right, 50% they're going to get it wrong. So they have nothing to lose. It's just like being the first DH when I was in the game of baseball. 50% of the people love it, 50% of the people hate it. So I can't lose.
Now get to your great career. You were drafted number 1 in the whole country?
Yeah, I was. In 1967, I got drafted number 1 in 1967 by the Yankees, and I had a great career up in New York. Unfortunately, I had quite a few injuries. New Jersey White Camp, and we do that in July and August, and I work with I do tons of stuff with the Yankees. I do a lot of meet and greets, being the first Jewish Yankee, and so I do a lot of bar mitzvahs and a lot of men's groups up in New York, and I just got back from Chappaqua up in upstate New York a little bit, and near Rye and Harrison, near Joe DeRogi's place, and so I'm up there all the time. So it's great to be part of the Yankee people, and great to be able to talk to people like yourself.
And we really appreciate that. Let's talk about some of the great Yankee players that you would see at spring training and play with, like Thurman Munson. I mean, can you tell us a little about seeing and meeting Thurman, and what was he all about, the Yankee captain?
Well, it's a very easy thing. People always ask. I roomed with Thurman for 4 years, and I came up the year after he did, and we became very, very close. And his wife Diane and myself, even to this day, were extremely close. And Thurman was such a great competitor. He was a great leader. He was a team captain, of course, and he's a guy that made the team go. And there was really, I would say, 2 guys on the team that made the Yankees really go. The number 1 guy, I would tell everybody, would be Mickey Rivers. And when Mickey Rivers played with the Yankees, whenever he got on, we're going to be winning 1 or 2 to nothing at the first or second inning. And then you have Thurman, Thurman is a guy that you go get in the trenches with, and he's the type of guy that would come to the ballpark, never shaved, and put on his uniform. It was all dirty and stuff. And he's a guy that made that team go. And when you had 2 characters like Mickey Rivers and Thurman Munson to make that team go, that's why the Yankees were so good in those later years. And that's why they had Derek Jeter. And now they're going to have to find another captain. So it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not easy to become a captain for the New York Yankees. It takes a certain type of person and a guy that the team respects 110%.
You had over 300 batting average with the Yankees, Ron. You came as a first baseman and then became the first DH in baseball history. So you were a very good hitter. And what did you think about being the first DH? And do you think the National League should finally accept it?
Well, to be honest with you, I had no idea. I screwed up the game of baseball in '73 and being the first DH, but, I love it. Whoever thought that being a glorified pinch hitter at that particular time, where I thought it was going to be in the game of baseball for 40-something years. It's 41 years this year. And, I love the DH. I think it's great for the game of baseball. People always ask me, will the National League adopt the DH? No, they're never going to adopt it because, it's been 41 years. You think they're going to say that they've been doing something incorrectly? Like I said before when I was talking to you, 50% of the people love it, 50% of the people hate it. But it's great for the game of baseball. If you look at the Yankees now, where you have a Derek Jeter who had one of the greatest careers anybody could ever have in New York in the game of baseball. Here's a guy that has an opportunity to play shortstop for a couple of games a week and now become the DH. So, if it wasn't for the DH, for Derek would probably play 2 games and sit out 4 games that week. So it's great for the game of baseball. It's if you look at the run production, what the game has occurred with the DH, it's been amazing. The American League wins more World Series. They win more All-Star games. It's more exciting. Who would love to go watch the National League play? And these games, these ball players, these pitchers, they don't know how to bunt. They don't know how to hit. The majority of them, I would say, maybe 5 to 10% of the pitchers they can hit. But it's totally changed. If you go out to a ball game now and watch batting practice, these pitchers don't bunt the ball; they just hit, and that's what they do. And it's totally changed. And it used to be the DH used to be just a big home run hitter, but now it's first to third. There's a lot of good DHs or good hitters, rather than just a power hitter. So it's a great game. The DH has put a lot of spark in the American League, and I love it.
I think it is great. We're speaking to Ron Blumberg, who's going to be at the Long Island National Sports Collectibles Show this weekend at Hofstra. You can go on NewYorkShows.org to see how you can meet Ron and get his autograph. And at the show, Ron, be a couple other great players, Reggie Jackson, Jim McAndrew. A lot of the Islander players will be there. Bossie, Bobby Nystrom, Clark Gillies. Before we close out, were you a hockey fan? Because you're going to see a lot of hockey guys this weekend at Hofstra.
Well, you know what? To be honest, living down south, we had no idea what hockey was. And just like playing soccer, we had no idea what it was. And those guys became the Islanders, and the Rangers became pretty good friends of us. And we used to hang out at a place called down in the city. It was called Vagabondos, and that's where they used to play the bocce balls. And the good friends of ours was Brad Parks and Clark Gillies and the Chico Resch and Rod Gobert, people like that. And we became very, very good friends. But you know what? I see him now more than, and of course I never went to a hockey game. I was asked to go to quite a few games, but I never did, to be honest with you. But it's great to be part of those guys because, those guys are superstars, and just to be able to talk to them and be part of the tradition about being New Yorkers and to be able to play in the greatest city in the world it's an honor to be able to meet these guys.
It definitely is. Ron Blumberg, thank you for being on Sports Biz with LD. Really appreciate it. I'm sure there'll be plenty of fans coming out to see the show. JP Sports, they do a great job right here at Hofstra, right here on Long Island. Thank you, Ron.
I really appreciate that. And one thing I'd like to say is, if people want to get on my website, it's Ron Bloomberg. It's pronounced 1 O. It's not 2 O's. It's RonBloombergYankees.com. Come on my website and, ask me some questions. I'd love to be a part of the New York people and be part of the whole circus out there. So anytime you need me, please don't hesitate to contact me, and it's great to be able to talk to you.
Thank you. That's RonBloomberg.com, BLOMBERG. Thank you, Ron. I really appreciate you being on Sports Biz with LD.
It's RonBloombergYankees.com.
I'm sorry, RonBloombergYankees.com. Of course. Yankees.
All the best, big guys. Looking forward to seeing y'all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, Ron Bloomberg, Andy, I'm way before you were born, but nice Jewish boy, first DH.
First Jewish Yankee, as he said.
Gotta love that he roomed with Thurman Munson. I mean, all Yankee fans just loved Thurman. Thurman was beloved, the captain, and he's right about being a captain. You just don't name someone the captain.
And that's why I think it's going to take years before the Yankees name another captain, because how can you take over for Derek Jeter? It doesn't work like that. It's not that simple.
You're right. It's not that simple. It's going to be very difficult to have someone. You're following Derek. Then Thurman had to be followed. You're right, but some people got to step up and got to be captains, and everybody needs a leader in every clubhouse in all sports.
Yep.
Well, this past Monday night, we were all at the Pink Tie event. Just a great event. A lot of players would be there. It was over 1,200 people at the event. Mike and Rich Cave from First Equity Title. I appreciate them inviting the show for us to be able to go there. Those guys are the founders of the Pink Tie. They met Linda Fiante, able with Linda to create with the Fact Foundation and the Pink Tie. It was a great event. A lot of people were there. Over 1,200 people were there. Celebrities that were there: Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, Otis Anderson. A lot of people were there.
That's really an incredible lineup right there.
Well, even more. Walt Clyde Frazier was there. Bo Dieter was there. It was unbelievable the amount of love and support that people came out in Long Island for the Pink Tie event. I want to thank them for allowing us to be there. Really is appreciated. They're going to be doing something every year. And Rich Cave was on the show last week and said it's always going to be the night of the Final Two, not the Final Four, of the Collegiate NCAA Men's Championship.
And that's really a great place to put it there, because you can have the game up on any TV that's there, and you'll have people watching it while they're sitting at the casino tables, like he said last week that they were there, and getting to chum it up with all these celebrities that are there.
Well, there's always a lot of celebrities there. Before we get into my off the chest, because I got a lot to talk about, I want to thank our sponsor, the Rampart Group. There's not any insurance they don't do, except title insurance. So Rich and Mike, they don't do title insurance, but Rampart's a full-service company. Been in business over 40 years. I know the guys well. It's not like if you'll call there, they can give you a discount, but the service is unbelievable. The RampartGroup.com, all your insurance needs. I really appreciate them being part of this show. The Morris brothers, I know for many, many years, they do a great job. Their headquarters are in Long Island and Lake Success. They're online, they're in the city, they're in Jersey, they're all over the country. You can get insurance, they're the company, never a problem. They're over 250 agents, and they're all very, very good at what they do. So we want to thank the Rampart Group for being a part of the show. Now, Andy, as usual, I always got to get stuff off my chest. Okay?
There's always something that's sitting right there that just got to jump out.
And, jumping out, Gino Auriemma. The UConn Huskies, the women, win the title again.
How many times is that?
I mean, only 9, Andy. 9
times.
Right, 9 national titles. His record, 879 and 133.
Not even Mike Krzyzewski can say he has that good of a winning percentage.
Can anyone, Andy? Could the great John Wooden say it?
No. 868 is a number that's unheard of in coaching. Everybody loses, but nobody wins like Gino Auriemma.
5 undefeated seasons. I mean, come on. That means for 5 years, 5 seasons, they never lost a game.
They even had a streak where they had 2 straight undefeated seasons back in the late 2000s, like 09-10. They had 2 undefeated seasons in a row.
And where did Gino come from? He comes to UConn and just builds a dynasty.
This is his first college head coaching job. He had assistant coaching jobs at Virginia and St. Joseph's in the 80s before going to UConn a little under 30 years ago and just running train on all of women's college basketball.
And now, do you think that anyone's ever come to him to like go to the men's game in collegiate sports, collegiate basketball?
I don't think he'd be able to make the transition that well. Yes,
why?
Because the women's game is a lot different than the men's game. You have a lot of talented players in the women's game. He's gotten to coach players like Diana Taurasi and Maya Moore. And while I do contend that Diana Taurasi could probably play with some of the men, it's a completely different game.
Yeah, but it's coaching. He's teaching the game of basketball, whether it's women or men. He is a great coach. This guy's at such another level in his sport, in women's basketball. How come you think he wouldn't be able to coach the men's? I think he could.
I don't know if he would get the same kind of respect factor from a men's team as he does his women's team.
You could be right, but when you come with these kind of stats, 9 national titles, and 868 winning percentage, I don't know if I'm in the huddle with him, and he's a guy. So it's not like you're taking a woman from women's sports and bringing her into the men's world. He's still he's a man going back to coach men's basketball.
But being in the women's game for 30 years, that's gonna be a rough transition for him as well. Not just for the players that he'd be going to coach.
I'm sure it will be, but that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with you. I think that this guy is just a great coach, and I think he can coach the men. Again, if he was a woman going to coach men, yeah, I think that's a problem. But I think that this guy commands respect. His record is ridiculous. I mean, how can anyone look at him and not say one word? Winner.
And the fact that he's only 60 years old, he could go for another 20 years. And the guy ages pretty well, too. You would never be able to tell he's 60.
He's got the passion. I don't know. Big fan of his. I don't think he gets the due he deserves, the credit he deserves. It is a dynasty. It is a John Wooden UCLA dynasty.
For the last 20 years, they have reached, at minimum, the Sweet 16. Every year.
That's insane. Now, yeah, people are going to say, well, he gets all the great players. I don't know. They just played a Notre Dame team. What was their record going into the final game?
Oh, theirs was undefeated also.
Okay. Is that the first time ever 2 undefeated teams in men or women's played for the title?
Yep, first time.
I don't know, man. I love it. I love the women's sports is coming. It's big. People are loving it. The girls love it. Guys are watching it. Gino's a stud, man. As a coach, the guy's a stud. Let's go to the Yankees. Dun, 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 dun. You know what the problem is with that song?
What's the problem?
The echo in the stadium because nobody's there.
They're saying that on average 41,000 are going to the game. Doesn't look like it. I can see the empty seats from TV.
They stuff in the ballot box there, buddy. I mean, where are those numbers coming from? Are those really sold tickets, Andy, and the people aren't coming? Or, I mean, because what does it hold? 48, 49,000?
It holds about 49,000 and change. And that's even smaller than the old Yankee Stadium, which held 55. But the Yankees' attendance has gone down every year for the last few years.
Now, the Yankees will say, everybody's eating, everyone's drinking. I got all that. But at the end, when the game is on, you want to say that in the first couple innings. You want to watch. It's not a big deal. But you see that going on in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning when the game is on the line. I don't know.
That sends up a bit of a warning flag.
Hey, the problem is from a business standpoint, and this is a business show, Andy, is they really are making the big dollars from all the seats. They make it from all the sponsors, the TV, the radio rights. That's where the big money is. So even if they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 10,000 less tickets sold, that's not where the big money is. Is it embarrassing that the seats are? Absolutely. I saw the second game. Okay, everyone's going to say afternoon game, during the week. I got all that. There's no one throughout the stadium. There's no one besides the $2,500 eat whatever I can eat and drink whatever I can drink seats.
I was at the Mets game last week, and it was a 7 o'clock game. I think I might have been able to count on my hands how many people were there.
I don't know where that's coming from because we're talking about the Yankees. I don't see
Just
the
as a comparison, that attendance is down not only with the Yankees, but for the other team in New York as well, where this is the biggest media market in the world. You would think that these two teams would draw enough attention that those stadiums would be packed every night.
I don't know if I agree with you on that. Yankees are a whole different thing. The Yankees, everywhere you go, everyone tells you they're the biggest Yankee fan. The Yankees are worldwide. The Mets aren't worldwide. I don't see that as a good comparison. I mean, the Mets have always struggled to sell tickets. The Mets aren't that good. I would have thought the Yankees struggled last year with selling tickets, with people in the stadium, with people watching the games on Yes. But this year, the year of Derek, the year of number 2, I would have thought more people would be going. Yes, you're going to say it's the beginning of the year. I got that, but these are games that you could get tickets to and maybe pay less money because it's so expensive to go. And even, like we said, opening day, it's a lot of empty seats. Too many empty seats.
It's not looking good right there at the moment, but we'll see how attendance goes throughout the season.
Well, I'm sure we will, but, the beginning is a little shaky for me. And let's go to the CC Sabathia, Tanaka. I mean, just the way these guys write about their pitching, the games they pitch. I don't know. CC goes 6 innings, lets up 4 runs, and they're going to say that CC pitched a very good to excellent game? I don't get that. CC, you're my stud. You're my number 1 guy. You're $25 million a year. No, 6 innings, 4 runs. I don't get why the writers like protecting him. Like, oh, that's a very good start. No, it isn't. It's a very good start maybe in today's game for your 4th or 5th starter. Now your number 1 stud who's getting $25 million a year.
And you can make the comparison to last season where Sabathia really struggled for a lot of the season. And 6 innings and 4 runs wouldn't be that bad compared to last season. But still, like you said, as an ace, you cannot be giving up 4 runs a game consistently. Right now, he's 1-1 with a 7.5 ERA. That's unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Oh, so that's ace-like? I mean, I don't get that. Like I'm saying, I can see the writers, I'm sorry, the Yankees and the players and the coaches going, oh, CC, CC let up 4 runs and went 6 innings. And Workman, like, what are we talking about? He stayed in the game because he's your ace and you don't want to go to the bullpen. That, to me, is not a good start. Lost a lot of weight. I remember we had his wife on our show, and we were like, oh, he loves to eat Captain Crunch, and that's what the CC is for. He is not pitching well. I'm sorry.
I've contended that he's lost 10 pounds or 10 miles an hour off the fastball every pound he loses.
And listen, and I'll tell you another thing now, how many more starts you're going to get out of him. It's going to be a rough year, I think, for you. And the same with Tanaka. I mean, the guy came over, he's 24-0. 7 innings, 3 runs. Yes, I love the 1 base on ball and 10 strikeouts. I mean, that I like. 100 pitches, that to me is very, very good. But don't write it in the paper that that's an excellent start. Last night with Pineda, okay, let's go to Pineda's start. He went 6 innings, no runs?
1 run.
1 run.
He gave up the run in the 7th inning on Nava's home run.
Okay, so think about that. So what are you going to say that is? If CC 6 innings, 4 runs is a great start, what is Pineda's start?
Pineda's, if we're going by that comparison, would be a legendary start.
Right, would be a legendary start. So, and then last night a little bit with Pineda with the, what do you have, a little pine tar on the ball?
He said it was dirt on his pond. Like right over here, he said it was dirt mixed with sweat. But if you look closely, it had that dark appearance of pine tar, kind of like if you would look at George Brett's bat or David Ortiz's helmet.
Well, you see John Farrell didn't really make it, and he's the manager of the Red Sox, didn't make a big deal about it. My thought would be, first 10 games of the year, who really cares? If they're going to do something about that and cause a big stir from the Red Sox, I'll worry about that later on in the year. 10 games into the season, doesn't even matter. Like, I heard a couple of people saying, what a huge win for the Yankees last night. Huge win. We're 10 games into the season. I didn't know there's a huge win when you're 4-5, 5-4. I mean, what is a huge win?
Well, you could say that every game matters in baseball, but there are still 150 games left in the season. And Farrell didn't make much of a deal of it. If you listen to the Red Sox after the game, David Ortiz said, everybody uses pine tar. It's not a big deal.
Okay, so right, no one really cares about it. And now this year, Andy, as they should, they changed the relief award to the Mariano Rivera Relief Award. And why shouldn't it be? The greatest reliever in baseball history could even be the best pitcher in baseball history. Yeah, I know the argument's going to be only pitches an inning. I got all that. but nobody dominated like him for 20 years. I mean, the stats on him, Andy, are ridiculous. 652 regular season saves, which is the record.
Right.
42 postseason saves. A 0.70 postseason ERA. Are you kidding me?
That's unheard of in any kind of sport where defense is key.
Unhittable. Guy was unhittable. You put him on any of those other great teams. The Atlanta Braves only won one title. The great Texas Ranger teams that the Yankees kept beating. The Cleveland Indian great teams the Yankees kept beating.
The Red Sox teams that they beat until 2004.
Right. I mean, he was the difference maker. You knew you came to that ninth inning, it was over. As Sterling would say, ball game over. The
Yankees win.
No, that's not how he says it, Andy. I was giving you a chance to do a little...
You want... Okay, fine. The Yankees win.
Okay, so I gave you a shot there. You didn't go with it. Very good. It wasn't bad at all.
I will say this, though. With this award, it's kind of phasing out the Rolaids Relief Award. Which I guess most
I don't
managers...
know, phasing out. It is the award.
And I think most managers are okay with that because when Mariano Rivera came in, they might have gotten heartburn knowing that they weren't winning this game.
That's very good. That was good. Rolaids Relief Award. Yeah, Rolaids was something that you would... Like a Tums. Tum, right? Something like that?
Yep.
Now let's get to a little football. I mean, there's so much to talk about. The Eli Manning situation. Eli Manning now is going in to have surgery on his ankle. Hurt his ankle last game of the year. I think it was the first or second period against the Redskins, came out of the game. High ankle sprain, which they say is usually the worst ankle sprains.
But a high ankle sprain could be, the way most people say it, could be up to the knee at some point.
Okay. So he had it. We never heard anything about it in the offseason. Very mum. No one's talking about it. Now we hear that he was always going for therapy. Now he realizes it's so bad that he's going to need surgery. But now there's also some photos out there that he was playing basketball on the ankle with who? His brother? Who else was there? Victor Cruz. So is it possible, Andy, that he hurt his ankle or re-injured his ankle playing basketball when he should be protecting it for the football season?
Well, the Giants said that the injury isn't a result of that, but you would have to think it does play a bit of a factor. Kind of like Aaron Boone when he was playing that pickup basketball game and tore up his knee.
That's a good analogy there. So you really got to be concerned about Eli doing that, moving forward. And I don't think the reason why I believe that the Giants did not restructure Eli this year, he's got like a $2 million buyout next year. I really don't believe the Giants going in. Eli Manning is still a great quarterback. I believe the Giants had a terrible year last year because he threw so many interceptions, whether or not they're all his fault. Bottom line, the guy had 20, how many interceptions did he have?
I think it was like 25, and he has the Giants record for interceptions in a career.
And if you remember when he first came into the league, he threw a lot of interceptions. But again, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, the guy is a winner. It comes to the postseason. This is what sports is all about. Winning in the playoffs. It's like the Yankees. It's all about what you do in the playoffs. And Eli is money in the playoffs. The problem is, Andy, they haven't been getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, like you said, when it comes down to the playoffs, it's all about these. It's all about the rings. But he's got to get there first.
And what kind of ring is that? Is that a winning ring? What do you got there?
Well, I graduated from college, so you can call that winning.
Very good. I don't know what you want, but where'd you go to? Walter Cronkite School
I went
or something like that?
to the Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Arizona State.
And look at you now. You're here. I want to thank everybody. Larry Davis, Andy Sukoff, SportsBiz with LD. Again, I want to thank my sponsor, Rampart Group. Love them. They're the best. Again, the pink tie event was great. Look for us on SportsBiz with LD, Facebook SportsBiz with LD, tweet me at SportsBiz with LD. I mean, I want to hear from you. So again, thanks everybody for listening. I'm Larry Davis, SportsBiz with LD, Andy Sukoff. Thanks for sitting in this week. Hopefully Sal Farrow next week. You'll take care of the sniffles, you'll feel better, you'll get some medication, and you'll be back. Again, Larry Davis, SportsBiz with LD.